Well, on that note, Mal, it's your turn.
All right. Well, I've been actually watching a lot more anime than recently, which is to say I've been watching any amount of anime recently. One, I came across on Netflix, and I don't know, I was just like, let's see what they have for anime, and like, March comes in like a lion. What's this about? And then like,
I've mentioned this before.
Yeah.
To you and said you needed to watch it, and I think you just forgot.
I did not remember. Did you call it that, or by its Japanese title?
I might have said Sangatsu no Lion.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, okay, I think so. Oh, it went away. Netflix. So just like I hovered over it, it's like it just gives you the description of the first episode, which is after a match with someone who knows him well, tech-turned teenage loner and shogi professional Rei Kiriyama gets a sudden invitation to dinner. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it definitely looks slice of life. I love slice of life, and it's like, This show is heartfelt. Okay, well, I sure felt my heart breaking over and over because this show is rough.
Yeah, he's a very depressed guy.
Everyone's depressed in this.
The sisters are like, for the most part, they have their own moments, but the little girl. But anyways,
I don't know if you've gotten through the bullying arc, but like,
no, I have not. I think I stopped watching a little bit into it.
Yeah, so it's March Comes In Like a Lion, or Sangetsu no Lion, which is it was originally a manga that started in 2007 and is still ongoing. It's monthly. And then it was made into an anime in 2016 and ran for 44 episodes till 2018. So that's what, like 4 cours or seasons basically.
I think it has. Yeah, it's like it's 50ish, wasn't it?
Yeah,
44.
44. It is done by Shaft.
Yep. So you get lots of good Shaft stuff.
Is like their biggest thing, and then was it the Monogatari anime?
Yeah.
Also fairly well known.
Yep.
But yeah, the art is very interesting, and I love it. It is very different from the way Hayoka does things. And they're both now 2 of my favorite artistically done ones. Because Hayoka is the backgrounds are like so full and detailed. These are almost kind of like watercolor, and they're very textured, and like even like the telephone lines will look like someone just took an ink brush and connected them. Like they're uneven and like I don't know. It looks so pretty though. Someone's. Sorry. I can hear someone.
I was handed a baby while
baby comes in like a lion.
We have a special guest of Tetsuo. She is bouncing on Daddy's belly right now.
Yeah, but everyone in the anime has some stuff to deal with, not happy stuff. I think the most well-adjusted person is the toddler. And
that's saying a lot.
She doesn't understand the cruel world she's a part of.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Rei Kiriyama, he is 17? He's like 16, 17.
Yeah, he's in high school.
On his own. Yeah, he is a first year at the start of the series because he didn't go to high school, and he's like, I should go to high school for some reason. But yeah, he's like, he supports himself. He's a professional shogi player. I think the 4th Dan at the start of the series, at least. And the manga actually has commentary on shogi and whatnot by a professional 9th Dan, which is the highest level shogi player. It's interesting how they blend the shogi aspect. It's not as it becomes. I think it kind of ramps up as the show goes on. It kind of starts out way more just dealing with
it depends on the arc. Like the guy who he eventually like learns from, is it Godo? Not Godo. Godo's like the he's like the guy he wants to defeat. Is it Shimada or something like that?
Yeah, Shimada.
His arc is like my favorite one. The one who becomes like his sensei basically, and he's trying to beat Godo and stuff like he's that stuff's so good.
There's another arc, or not even arc. It's like like 2 or 3 episodes, just between I think it's Shimada actually and someone else. Like, man, the art in this anime like at times is ridiculous. Just the way they use it to like get inside the minds of people.
Yeah. Yeah, the art is constantly reflecting like the characters' moods and stuff, which is very Shaft thing to do.
Right. But yeah, you see everyone's got their own stuff they're dealing with. Even the people who are sort of the villains, you like see how crappy their life is. And you
like his sister and stuff, his adopted sister. Who I hated at first, but then you kind of like start to sympathize with her as you learn more about her backstory.
It's basically everyone's life sucks. So yeah, it's not the happiest anime.
But yeah, he's like super depressed.
Very.
I believe if I remember correctly, his like parents were killed. That's why he was adopted.
His parents and younger sister.
So he's kind of like just
in a car wreck.
He's kind of just like going through the motions with life, and he's like not very passionate about anything.
Nope.
And he kind of like
picked up shogi because it was the only option he had to feel close to someone. As you learn as the story goes on.
Yeah, then he makes friends with like a family. And,
a family of sisters who, have had their own rough times. But yeah, so that's actually that's kind of where the name comes from, because he lives in Junetown, which is basically an industrial part of the city with some apartments, apparently, because he lives in this bare-ass apartment. It's literally, like, it's it's Japan, so, it's already tiny, but it's as bare as can be. He's got, like,
a futon closet, and
the tiniest closet.
And a fridge.
Standalone closet thing that he puts, I guess, his clothes in, and then a futon, and that's like it. At least, and of course his shogi board. But yeah, and then the sisters live in Marchtown, which he just has to like cross the river, and when he goes to see them. But yeah, all the interactions, like, they're kind of a big part of his life, but they're not as big a part in the anime. It will definitely take larger periods of time, and that they're just not in as much.
Yeah, the first season is like a lot more about. I feel like it's more about the shogi aspect.
I don't know. No, the first season, it's more about, I think, just learning him, who he is, and the shogi is there. But like, shogi's not. It's not like.
It's not like a shonen. Like, where he's like trying to level up. Like he doesn't want to be like the best shogi player ever,
It's not like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or the Go version of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Where they like go through all the parts of a game, and it's like all this, intense battle style back and forth.
It's more about like his state of mind going into the match and how it like affects his performance, and
who is across from him. You learn a lot about his opponents, especially later on. And like, they don't really pull any punches. Even the first guy that he is against, they just like, it's just kind of a there's not really much. They don't really build it up, but they're like, after he gets beaten, he's like lying down, like all sad and stuff. His opponent is all sad and stuff, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, his grandfather taught him how to play shogi, and he's like sick or nearly dying practically or whatever. And if he had won, he'd be on TV, so his grandfather could watch him play or something." And it's like, yeah, everyone's got like a reason for what they're doing, and like,
The character writing is very good.
Right, you still got to play the game. You can't really think about who's across from you.
Yeah, like even the characters who are only in like one episode and have they get little mini arcs. It's great. Like just the character writing is so good.
Very strong.
My favorite character, I think, on the whole show is his friend. Is it Nikado?
Yeah.
Is that him? I'm just like scrolling through character names.
Yep.
Like the little speech he gives him at one point, because he's like he'll like commentate on the matches and stuff. Right. He's also like a professional, but he'll do that kind of. There's like one part where like Ray is like doing something. He's like not got his head in the game, and he gives him like a pep speech, and it's like my favorite scene in the whole show, probably.
Yeah, it's very interesting how they portray. I mean, it's pretty realistic, honestly. In that he is obviously depressed, like it's very apparent. But like when he's talking to people, he just sounds like a normal person. He's not all like perpetually sad and stuff, right? Like there's a lot of narration, like he'll be monologuing like over the top of a scene, so you'll get a lot of pretty shots of like maybe riding the train, looking out at the scenery or something. And the narration takes a more somber tone usually, but like something you'll be discussing or you'll be talking about something sad like in the narration, and then someone will talk to him and he'll just respond like, oh, what? And just like, I don't know, it's just he comes across as very normal in his interactions with other people, so it's just something I wouldn't have thought them to really put the effort into, I guess. It's also a very Japanese anime, like the culture, like it's about professional shogi playing, right? Just so I know that could put people off. It's like, I don't know if I would necessarily show it to someone who hasn't watched or doesn't understand a ton of Japan, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I've been recently watching a streamer who he's playing Persona 5 for the first time, and he doesn't watch anime or he doesn't play a lot of Japanese RPGs, and it's just weird to watch someone who doesn't understand, Japan, that like culture or anything, and he's like, could just be like, why is this happening? What is wrong with people? And then the chat will just be like, it's Japan. It's like I mean, we've been around that sort of thing for a long time, right? Like we have an understanding of Japan because we're weebs. Yeah. So it's just interesting to see someone who doesn't, and like they probably wouldn't necessarily enjoy this so much.
No. And also like you gotta kinda like, I think it's like you got to be in the mood to watch something that's very character driven and
kind of like,
I don't want to call it slow because I don't think the pacing's bad necessarily, but nothing really drags on. It's a very internal show. It's very much about the character's feelings and emotions at a given moment. There's not like lots of you're not like passing a lot of time. If you want to see him become like a 7th or 8th or 9th Dawn by the end of the first season, it doesn't happen. Yeah. It's not that kind of show. Like, and again, like you were saying, the shogi is not like the forefront. It's just like a backdrop to help, get into some of these characters' minds anyways. And then you get the nice juxtaposition of those scenes and his scenes with the sisters, who become basically a surrogate family. And I like all of them. They're all great characters. And the grandpa and all of them.
It's a lot of like kind of melodrama with some very sweet spots mixed in, and they really just kind of make the show. Right? Like you can't have it all be super depressing all the time. Yeah. Or you just end up with Evangelion. No.
Without the mech thoughts.
Right. It's just shogi in general is rough. You can't miss any games for any reason. You get sick, well, that's your fault. You might end up getting demoted a rank, and yeah. I don't remember. There's like every minute you're late is like there's some huge penalty.
Yeah, you get like a handicap of some sort.
Yeah, it's very, very ridiculous the like how rough professional shogi is.
Yeah, it kind of gives you a glimpse into that world. And I kind of like everyone's like rituals they do.
Mm-hmm.
Another good way of just characterization where you don't have to say anything. You just show it. You don't go, oh, he always drinks this tea, so that means he's like in this mindset. Like you just kind of like see it in their like posture and like the things they do. Like it kind of like informs like how they play the game and kind of their outlook on life. So I don't. It's really cool. It's good. It's like I need to like finish it still. I don't know why I got sidetracked and didn't finish it, but it's one of my favorite for sure. Slice of Life shows.
It definitely shot up there for me.
Because the animation is not only is it just like a good show, it's weird to see Slice of Life stuff where they invest so much in the animation and art style, and because you know, for like a lot of people, you know, shows where people are sitting around talking and it's lots of characterization and not action. You would think, you know, action shows are going to have the best animation, but you know, it's not necessarily always the case, and this show is just further proof of that.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think a lot of people also will compare it to like what is it? Your Lie in April, which not just because they have months, but like a similar sort of tone or whatever.
Yeah, that one's a bit more schmaltzy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like March Comes In Like a Lion doesn't really rely on any big tropes or anything either.
No, that I would almost say that's more like shonen-y. It's not like a shonen battle manga, but like I could see that being published in like a like shonen anthology thing. Like it wouldn't be that far-fetched. This I could not. This feels a little bit more seinen-y. What I don't know what it's technically classified as.
It is.
It is seinen. Okay.
Your Lie in April is a shonen, but I'm just saying, like, I meant for tone wise.
Sure.
I know a lot of people have compared it, but yeah, man, I love it.
Yeah, it's really good. If you like that kind of stuff, I can't recommend it enough.
It does something interesting that I hadn't really seen before, in that it throws up I don't know what you'd call it. Not a title. I mean, it's I guess sort of a title card. I don't know, for every chapter of the manga.
Mm-hmm.
So like you'll just be watching the episode and it'll be like chapter 3, and it's very close to the manga. Like it's it's very close, faithful, like frame to frame practically of the manga.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Though, I mean, I know it's not exact because I picked it up right where the manga ended, or the anime ended, actually. And they did pull a chapter from after it ended. And they put it in the anime, which I think it gives you a bit of closure on something, sort of. So I think it was a good move.
Yeah.
And it doesn't tie, like, the timeline of things in this, like, is not very important for a lot of it, except when you're like in an arc specifically. But like the random stuff going on, it doesn't affect anything. Like, but yeah, because I think they get to around chapter in the 80s of chapters, so basically 2 chapters in an episode about. But yeah, it's still ongoing, and the manga is really good too after it ends. But I mean, that's not really a surprise considering how faithful the anime is.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure they'll pick it back up eventually because it's very popular anime.
Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, it's only been off the air for a year and a half, so and they've only how many chapters have they done?
Let's see.
There are, so they got into the 80s, I believe, and there are
140 something?
166.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Was it?
I'm looking at Wikipedia, so it's only shown tankobons.
Yeah. I'm on a certain particular site where you can read it. Maybe it was in the 90s, so, they've almost I mean, at least chapter wise, it's almost doubled what the anime has shown, I guess, right? No, not quite. Yeah, it's like they've got almost though as much. Like 66 chapters would be, like 33 episodes, right? Or so they could probably start any time again if they wanted.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much longer it'll go, but it ends on a nice place though too, where it doesn't need to go any further. If they
chose not to.
If that had been the end, it's a good spot. Like if they had just ended where the anime does. But it is also nice to get more. Like where they go with it from there is also nice. You can kind of see it coming from the way they end it, but
it's on Netflix. Watch it.
Yep.
Everyone has Netflix. You got no excuse.
Slice of life is just kind of ends up being my favorite genre, especially when they're like this. Like kind of slice of life with just a little bit extra, like not.
Yeah, when slice of life is good, it's really, really good.
Right, exactly. Like I really like the good slice of life stuff because generally it's just character focused, right? And that's what I love. It's characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's nice to watch, fight scenes in My Hero Academia, but
yeah. Which is the 4th season's going. I haven't watched any of it yet.
I haven't either because, I don't know, Hulu's like, it's simulcast. We have 3 episodes. They're all subbed. I'm like, why?
I think it's about to start on... means. I think it's about to start on Toonami, so...
Oh, nice.
But, anyways.
Yeah, that's my topic.
All right.
I love it. It's... I've watched I've got 2 of the anime I've watched recently. I've already, are now some of my favorites of all time, I think.
It's been a good year for Mao and anime, then.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a lot this year, weirdly. I don't know why. There's been stuff I've been interested in. I've watched, the first few episodes, and I just haven't, finished. Dr. Stone was pretty good, but I only watched about 4 episodes of it. I was just I don't really need to... I know what happens. I don't need to see it again.
I've been rewatching through Durarara.
Yeah, that's good.
It's just a weird anime. I love it, but it's so weird. It's another one of those. It's sort of slice of life, but it's just so all over the place.
I wanted it to have more supernatural stuff, but I loved that it didn't because, I don't know, it was weird. I wanted more, but it
just sort of no one cares, right? That there's supernatural stuff going on.
But it's not oh no, whatever. It's more a matter of, this is just way more pressing right now. That's cool and all, but I really have to worry about this. And that just sucks you in. You're like, yeah, you're right. We gotta solve your problems first before we find out this whole thing about that. Yeah. But...
Yep, so yeah. Let's do the outro. This has been episode 93 of Podcast of 5 Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast 5 Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and SoundCloud, and talk about topic day by day on YouTube, with the full video releasing on Friday. Check us out on Twitter, Podcast5R, Facebook, P5R Podcast, Men and Lily Stream, twitch.tv/PSOFlow, and Tets's blog, The He Spirit. And yeah, I think next week we'll have a decent amount of stuff to talk about. Because, Mal, you said you might be talking about Outer Worlds. A lot of people have been liking that. BlizzCon starts tomorrow. So
goody.
I'll probably be talking about the mess that could potentially be. I don't know. Maybe they'll pull it out.
They're able to just sweep everything aside because they keep throwing sequels out.
They keep leaking everything. I swear they're leaking this stuff.
Yeah,
they gotta
we'll
be.
See if people will actually, stick to what they're saying, or if they just get distracted by the pretty new game.
Yeah, and I have a feeling Meta will probably be playing the Neo 2 stuff. So.
Oh right, that's gonna be my weekend too. So
yeah,
we'll see how much Outer Worlds I get done. Because Neo 2, I'm looking forward to as well.
All right, that's all we got. We'll see you guys next time. Hope you all have had a happy Halloween and eat lots of candy or whatever.
Bye.
Say bye, Tets.
Bye, Tets.
Bye, Tets.